Well, yeah, it took me to actually a really interesting place while you were talking, and so like I was with you, and then like this memory popped into my mind. This memory showed up here, and I'm like, well, I'll bring it in. I'll bring it into our pool of conversation, and we'll see where it goes. Um, the memory here is of three words: special dark chocolate. Special dark chocolate. Um, Going back to belonging, I think the first real like conscious tests of that for me were in high school. And in the same year that I got Nemo as a nickname, which was my freshman year, um, I also had a number of people who they were trying out different nicknames for me. They're like Niyama, yeah. So like I went through a whole slew. I was uh, Duracell, Noxema, Good Burger. Like there were some names that came around. But there are also two names in particular that like stuck with me as like names that couldn't that just weren't acceptable. That really got into the space of just true non-belonging. And I think this is important for me. Like when the two names that came up, one of them was a group of people who just called me Black Guy, and they would just say, "Hey, Black Guy," and that was the nickname they gave me. We were Actually, I was about to find myself making excuses for them. I'm gonna let that go, right? And then the other one was Special Dark Chocolate, and it was SDC. It was the abbreviation of that nickname. Um, and I'm curious to myself why that came up right now. In particular, the thing that I think makes this feel so real in this moment is that when I was bestowed the nickname of Nemo, um, to me it was an act of true belonging there. At least what I thought belonging was, right? But it was like this idea of, wow, people like me enough to like want to give me a nickname, you know, this, like they know me enough, and they're not just giving me a nickname just because. It's like, no, it's what we do. It's like you're gonna get a nickname. I remember I walked in and they're like, "Niyama's your name? Oh man, you're gonna get a killer nickname before the end of this year," you know. And I remember feeling with Nemo, one, it was safe and neutral. It was named after Adventures in Dreamland. This French cartoon of a person flying around on a bed all the time. Um, and getting the name and getting the nickname Nemo, I actually felt a huge sense of belonging. Of like, oh, like I'm here. And at the same time, like not there were still these other nicknames that were being used around me that eventually I had to like stand up to and go through my own process to really confront the individuals that were saying that, and like that's not okay. Um, in this current moment, I'm thinking to myself about how long I allowed it to be okay. Um, and that just was what it was. But it took me to that moment of like, even with the names here, so I have my own name, but there was power in the nicknames as well, and the power of belonging, the power in the names that we had chosen for ourselves, power of belonging, and the power of very much feeling like you didn't fit in. Like and Black Guy and Special Dark Chocolate really hit those places for me.
It's the World Joy Movement. Yeah. What was your greatest insight from this conversation? And if you want to come and be a part of a conversation like this live, it's really simple. Just go to beworldjoy.com and come introduce yourself, and let's take the conversation to the next level because you're there now. All right, let's play.